all knew what would happen once Joker was introduced to this new modern gaming philosophy. It would make him lame and gay, and that's what they exactly did with this version of Joker from the Kill the Justice League game that has recently come out, and a lot of people are completing within 2 seconds. If you haven't heard some of the errors that happened with the early access releases of this game, you can readily complete this game in under 1 minute once you log in, and this is something that has been occurring for a lot of new gamers that have opened up their early access copy of the Kill the Justice League game, and it is showing that just not only story and gameplay errors at the focus of this game, also just the whole release is an error in of itself. And I think this is something we all expected to happen, not in this way, but I think this is in line with what we've been seeing with the overall development of this game. Error after error when it comes to advertisement, when it comes to the construction of the game, when it comes to the overall live service aspect of the game, when it comes even to the DRM lock that is being put onto the game, even though it's a live service game that can't be played without being online. So it's just all these multitude of facets of the game are spelling this is a catastrophe waiting to happen. And I think the worst of them all is what they did to the characters themselves. If you saw Harley Quinn, she doesn't really act like Harley Quinn. She's an ugly version of the Harley Quinn that we know from the Arkham series, and that is just the version that they've posted up incessantly, and I think that's the version people don't like. And of course we have to have a bad version of the Joker too, and I think ultimately this version is what we expected to happen to any flamboyant character that has an outward personality. They usually make these characters gay nowadays. I think that's what they did with the Joker, and it should be expected, especially if you have the consultancy company that is infamous for promoting modern day political takes in video games. I'm talking about Sweet Baby Inc. It's infamous for its race swap in the Alan Wake 2 games, for its large injection of LGBTQ politics in the Spider-Man 2 game, and you can go on and on with some of the characters that are just working at Sweet Baby Inc. And it's their own company's goal to inject modern politics into video games, and every large video game studio is investing in Sweet Baby Inc. to consult for their games consistently, all the big brands, and that includes Kill the Justice League game, where they worked on the script writing, the banter, cutscenes, the overall audio logs. They did everything related to the story. And I think when you have this company that is just infamous and has a political goal of shaping the modern political view of video games, you're going to get this sort of thing that happens with the characters, where some characters are just going to be gay now, some major characters are going to be gay now, some of the respected characters are going to be treated like rejected losers and fools. Like the Batman has his infamous scene in this game where he's just an idiot being preached to by Harley Quinn before he's summarily executed. And I can never play this game for that fact. Even just thinking about that scene angers me. But I think that's the point of the people that are developing these games nowadays. They hate the characters they're developing, they're creating. And I think that's ultimately the focus of the game, is to tear down the things that you love about these characters. And I think them tearing down what Batman is, what the Justice League is, who even cares about playing as the squad when you can play as the Justice League? Who would make this game first? People that hate the Justice League, people that hate Superman, people that hate Batman, hate the Flash, hate everything they represent. And that's why you're getting this massive disrespect towards these characters. And I think the same thing is happening with the Joker. They hate the version of the Joker that is just chaotic, focused, organized, and uncontrolled. So they created this weaker version of the Joker that is feminized. He's mostly focused on finding himself, searching for who he is and where his place is in the world. That's not Joker. Joker's not searching for a place in the world. He's searching to create a chaotic world. He's not trying to search for his feelings about who he is and about his bad experience with his father. No, he doesn't care. He's making up stories. He doesn't even know what the truth is anymore. He doesn't care about the truth as long as he's entertained in this chaotic atmosphere and he can break people. And I think they're creating a version of Joker that fits into their sympathetic LGBTQ character space, where he's trying to find himself and is trying to make that analogy with that community where he's trying to find his purpose and self. And I'm like, no, we're not here for your metaphors about what's happening in modern day scenarios with people struggling with their gender. I think that is just the overall emphasis on people focused on their intimate interactions with other people. And I think that is the frustrating part with these modern day political activists that are involved with these game companies. They're just focused on intimate relationships consistently with the opposing gender or the same gender. They're just, everything is framed in that mindset where that's all they see is gender, non-gender. What is my relation to this gender, and how do we have this dynamic, and how am I searching for myself because I have this gender crisis? And I'm like, we're not here for that. We're here for Batman. We're here for the Justice League. We're here to see them be heroes and villains, and that's just not the focus anymore. The villains can't even be villains anymore. There have to be some sort of representation of a gender identity crisis in some sort of way. And I think that's why we're getting this weak version of the Joker that you're supposed to sympathize with. I'm not trying to sympathize with the Joker. I'm trying to see the Joker create his beautiful chaos, and I think that is the main focus, and we're not going to get that version, at least with this studio. And I think we're probably going to have some version of this in the future in the movies as well, because the same people that are working on these games, they took over Hollywood a while ago. So the next version of the Joker we're going to get is going to be like this, and I think we got a facsimile of that with the Jared Leto Joker from that Squad movie that came out a few years ago. And I think maybe it may have been a better version of the Joker through the edits. People are saying release the cut, the David Ayer cut, but I doubt it. I think they wanted that kind of effeminate and unfocused version of the Joker to be the primary Joker. And I think we're seeing a trend of that happening with a lot of characters. We saw that with Lex Luthor in the new Adventures of Superman TV show, where he just had a skinny, effeminate Lex Luthor that may be non-binary. I'm like, what? Why are you trying to push these kind of gender identity crisis villains consistently at the audience? And I think that is the case here, and it's sad to see these large development studios like Rocksteady go down this path where they're hiring people that just don't know the games, or maybe outright hate the games they're working on. And I think that is the case with this Joker. You could just see the way they have Joker posing like this. This is their gender identity crisis imposed in the Batman Arkham universe. And I think that is a reflection. We see that with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and now we're seeing this with the Joker. And I think that South Park phrase kind of transfers to males now. Make him lame and gay. That's the main focus now with any of these legacy characters. I wouldn't be surprised we see this happen to Batman at this point, with the way they disrespected Batman in this Kill the Justice League game. And I think consistently enough, we see the same people that take over this game always talking about how Batman is an evil guy. And some of these interviews for people to work on these games, they ask you, why is Batman an evil white man or something like that. I saw an interview with that where they're discussing that person that was going up for one of these games, where they said, explain why Batman is an evil white man and how do we change that character. And so seeing him being disrespected in this way, when you have people like this working on it at the bottom that clearly don't really care about the Batman studio or game, are there for politics alone, they're creating and shaping this game, it makes sense that we're getting this type of game that kind of disrespects the entire lore of the DC universe. But you tell me what you think about the situation. Do you think I'm right or wrong? Do you think this is just how Joker has always been? People are saying that online. Oh, Joker, he's in love with Batman, so it makes sense now he's a effeminate gay man that is in love with Batman. I'm like, I don't really want to see this. That is just your headcanon. That is your fantasy, and you're just there to ruin the game because you hate this series and you want to impose your politics. But that's just my opinion. You tell me what you think about the situation. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.